morning. My name is Tariro Nyimo, and I'm responsible for programs at Digital Frontiers. I'd like to thank Mojulu for this opportunity to present to you, and also our partnership in the accelerator program with Africa NENDA. Okay, so just go back to the first slide. Okay, I'm going to start by introducing Digital Frontiers. So Digital Frontiers is a nonprofit company. We're based in Cape Town, South Africa. We are a specialist capacity building company that builds capabilities aligned with sustainable development goals. So not just instant payment systems, but inclusive instant and inclusive payment systems, right? Not just finance, but inclusive finance. So we've got programs that work towards inclusive societies, that's gender equality, and inclusive digital economic development. So that's our existing programming from Digital Frontiers. So what we do and how we are organized, we have the school, and I think that's the logo that most people are associate with. That's Digital Frontiers Institute. That's the school that delivers the scaled and comprehensive programs. And then we have Digital Learning Services. Digital Learning Services provides learning as a service. So it's like a utility company that targets the development sector to provide the learning capability. So if you want a course digitized, it's something that we do in-house. And then we've got what is called the Alliance of Digital Finance Associations. Now, this has come out from the success of our communities of practice. We have over 38 communities of practice, and 22 of those convene around inclusive finance. And I know that in Zambia, we do have an association of digital finance practitioners born out of the successful community of practice around one of our programs called the Certified Digital Finance Practitioner Program. So that's how we're organized. Okay. Just to talk about our reach and the work that we do, still on Digital Frontiers and the work that we do. So we've touched 3,000 organizations and almost 9,000 unique participants, right, in 170 countries. So we're quite global, but 60% of our participants are really in sub-Saharan Africa, okay? And I talked about the communities of practice there, convening around 21,000 professionals. So that part of networking and creating the ecosystem, I know there's a lot of talk about building the ecosystem, is really done through our communities of practice. Okay, next slide. Okay, so now to talk about the Instant and Inclusive Payment Systems program. And I know those on the accelerator program already have access to the introduction course. Now, the introduction course really gives you the foundations of payment systems, and it's set to examine your own capability, where you are as a payments expert, right? So it's a self-paced course. You do it at your own time, and it can be used as a refresher course. And we wouldn't like, it's not something that's mandatory. So if you assert yourself as a payments expert, you can just move to the specialization, but it's done just to identify also which role you're playing within an IIPS project. And the reason why the aim of the IIPS project is to develop a league of payments experts, especially in countries that are moving towards some financial inclusion strategies, and that are building IIPS or new IIPS. So we build that in-country capability, that local capability for you to, you've got the tools and you understand the design principles, you understand the implementation, and you understand the regulatory needs or what your IIPS project needs to achieve in your country. So that's like an overview of what we do with the IIPS project. Okay, so I was talking about, look, go back. I was talking about the introduction course and the foundations, and that those on the accelerator program, you already have access to this. And then we moved to the specialization courses. Now, the specialization courses were designed to look at 3 roles in an IIPS project, right? You've got somebody who's tasked to manage the regulatory aspects of the IIPS project, and somebody who's tasked to manage or oversee the designing and the deploying the technology. Okay, so most of us, I would assume, are technology experts here. And then someone who's running with the business side of things, the operation and the actual launch, and the market impact, the readiness, what the IIPS project is going to achieve in the country. And this person is also looking at the scheme rules, looking at the business side, the settlement issues. I quite like that one. That is one of my favorites. Okay. And the person who's dealing with the technology side, you'd have to understand the technology strategy, right? And merge it with the business. Is it achieving? What sort of trade-offs are you going to have to manage between domains and the methodology? Just speaking about agile, all of those things are decision points within the technology specialization. Okay, go back. I'm still on that side. All right. Okay, cool. So just to say, these are 6-week courses, right? And you can choose which one you're passionate about, but you're not restricted. You're not restricted to just stick to one of those. You can be an all-round payments expert, and you can do it as an intervention when you're already in the project. Say it takes 8 weeks, and you can do it concurrently and learn and apply overlook look at a post case study, which is India. That apply to your context, and you also put in groups to discuss with other people and come up with that kind of strategy of what would work in a certain country. So it's really a fun and interactive way to finish the IIPS certification. Okay, next slide. Just to look at the personas or the students or the groupings that we've done with past participants of the IIPS project. And I have to say that the IIPS project is funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And we have the subject matter experts who interact with participants in class discussion calls are from Mojaloop and CGAP. Okay, so some of the people or some of the participants groupings here, you'll see bankers, or what we've termed bankers. And this is from the private sector, and they constitute quite a larger percentage of the participants there. Then we get to payments processors, that's gateways or payment system providers, it's 21%, matching with policymakers and regulators, some of the regulators already in the house. Bank of Zambia has participated in this program. National Bank of Malawi participated in this program. National Bank of Rwanda, am I saying correct, has participated in this program as well. We have reach and we still want more reach, and that's why we're part of the community. We need to expand and to bring in those experts and to create that ecosystem that can also help the Moja Loop ecosystem grow. Okay, next slide. Okay, so I titled this Skilling and Reskilling for IIPS. So this is just like a framework I was playing around with on how to strengthen the ecosystem. And I know one of the pillars is achieving scale, and how can you achieve scale through capacity building. So already we know that even the reason why digital frontiers exist is because of the skills gap, right? Our world is changing, our future is changing, and the skills keep, we require reskilling all the time. And even the profession that we've created with the Alliance of Digital Finance Associations, the profession of inclusive finance, it's distinct and different from the banking that we had. So we had to build that capability, to build in that thinking that you can deliver inclusive finance. You can bring in those who are underbanked into the formal financial system. Okay, I think my slides have disappeared, but yeah, so that's really about it. I think my next slide was going to touch on some data on skilling and reskilling and how we see the payments sector growing. I think I referenced some reports from McKinsey. Next slide, please. Yes, that's the slide saying 152, Africa, this is actually specific to Africa's e-payments sector, expected to grow between 2020 and 2025 by 152%. So if we are anticipating that growth, then we would need to reskill in our countries for that growth, using our own country context, right? Using the growth trajectories of our own countries. So, and this is why the IIPS project exists, and this is why Moja Loop is also here to accelerate or achieve that scale. And we know that, and I think this is a World Economic Forum report that says 50% of all employees will need reskilling, and digital skills as a pillar of inclusive digital economy would fall into that. And we are contributing to that skilling as part of the IIPS project and the Moja Loop and the accelerator program, right? So as we prepare for growth or innovation, what sort of pillars? This is the kind of things that I thought we could think about that we'll have to do. And even as we design our IIPS projects, we think about the majority of mobile money deployments or IIPS deployments. This is actually from an African Lender report saying 35% of mobile money IIPS are in Africa, and that 500 million Africans are without proper identification is another block to us building that digitized economy that we want, or those as payments being one of those pillars towards that digitized economy. And of course, data will also be a big part of us governing and regulating that. Okay, so I think my last slide will just show some faces, what we call the IIPS bench. So when you have certified in IIPS program, we put you on our website. We call that the IIPS bench, and some of the participants are, and their faces are here. You'll find them on our website as well. We give you training guides so that you can train other people. So it's like train the trainer. So already we're building that capability for you to be a consultant, right? Some of the faces are here. There's Kombe from Bank of Zambia. We've got Jelesani from Zekil. There's Adeline from National Bank of Rwanda. You'll find them on our website, but thank you very much.
I had a specific question about the slide that you had where you map out from introduction to the IIPS all the way to the final seminar.
Yeah.
The middle part is clear where you have the 3 specializations, but how long does it take end to end, like from the beginning all the way to the final seminar? And the curiosity here is yesterday we saw a lot of POC members talking about their projects and so forth. So if we were to skill and capacitate those folks that would work on those POCs, just thinking how we might align to the timeline for this course. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So the core, the middle part is actually the best part. So I would match that specialization course with your POC, the 6 weeks. So the 3 I's course is an additional. If you are an overachiever like me or other people in this room, then you can do the 3 I's course. And the capstone project, I would recommend that. That's a short course. You can do it within a week and you're done. So that's why I'm saying that the core, the specialization, the 6-week duration is really what I would map against your POC. Now the foundations is to prepare you for the specializations. So if you're already a payments expert, you don't have to do that, or you think you don't need a refresher, you can skip that. Foundations is self-paced. If I do it, I can do it within a day or 2. If you're a busy person, you can do it within the week. It's not long. So I would focus on the 6 weeks.